Chapter 4 in the earlier cities. Let me start this video with a very fascinating story, the lost civilization. And to make this story more interesting, let me take you 150 years back when the India was colonized by the Britishers. It was 1853 that the railways got introduced by the Britishers in India, and the first railway link was between Bombay to Thane. The network was spreading all over India in all directions, and it was turn of Punjab when the link was coming to that place. Let me tell you, by this time there was no word as Pakistan, and the partition was not at all there, and the size of Punjab was this much instead of this much. Well, the railways were getting constructed everywhere, and by this time the laborers saw several building structures which were fully bricked. They took all those bricks instead of making the new one, and they consumed all those bricks to construct their own houses or to construct the railway line and the link and all those buildings that were necessary. Well, it took some 70 years for the archaeologists to describe this as a discovery of a lost civilization by those laborers, as they have found a city called as Harappa. A very famous city of the Indus Valley civilization was now in front. Now the archaeologists have taken the history of India by some 5,000 years back. It was a great leap, and by this time they discovered the whole lot of civilization which is called by this name as the Indus Valley civilization. It was a great leap in front of all the archaeologists. They found several sites and several cities which were all constructed. It included the Harappa, the Kalibanga, the Mohenjo-daro, the Lothal, the Dholavira, and a whole lot of stuff, which was nothing less but a miracle in front of the archaeologists. No wonder those laborers did make a damage to that particular city, but still a lot was to be discovered. Now let us see what was so special about these cities. The archaeologists have found that these cities were made in a specific pattern. Most of the cities were divided into two parts, east and west, where the eastern part was a lower city and the western part was called as the citadel by the archaeologist. And they have also found that the citadel was higher than the lower city. They did see that the city was made with an interlocking pattern of several bricks. As you can see, I have created this model of that city. Here several bricks are being used. The houses are constructed by those bricks itself, and the city was covered with a boundary wall too. And those bricks were so strong as they were big, they was usable even by now, as we have already seen that those laborers were using it. Those buildings were really special. Many of the buildings used in the Indus Valley civilization, as we have seen all these areas, many of the buildings here had special kind of things created. For example, we have seen in Mohenjo-daro that there was a huge tank. Archaeologists have discovered a huge tank which they call it as a great bath. What was so specific about the great bath was all over it was rooms. They had stairs on both of the sides so that people can move inside the bath. It was a big tank which had plastered wall on it. You can see this, it was all plastered, and it had a coating of natural tar so that it can become watertight. This was so special. It is considered that the special people in the city must have taken a bath in this huge tank on certain festivals or on some kind of celebration only. Similarly, in Kalibanga and Lothal, here it is Kalibanga and here it is Lothal, which is in Gujarat. The archaeologists have found that over the citadel there was fire altars. Fire altars were kind of structures where it is considered that the sacrifices could have been performed. Similarly, the archaeologists have found storehouses which are quite elaborate in these three cities, namely Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, and Lothal. And in many cities, they have also discovered the covered drains, which was a new thing found in any of the civilization all over the world. Let us see how the houses, drains, and the streets were made in these cities. The houses were really special. It has been found that they were 1 to 2 stories high. The rooms were built around courtyard. People knew the importance of a courtyard. Also, most of the houses had a separate bathing area so that they can bath in private, and also few of the houses do have wells to supply the water, and the houses which do not have wells, they have certain kind of tanks so that they can store water for their future needs. The drains were also very special. Many of the cities had covered drains which were carefully laid in straight lines. They all were covered and geometrically patterned. Each drain had a gentle slope so that water could move with the flow of gravitation. And also the drains were connected from the house, and from the house drain to the street drain, and then to the small drain indirectly to the bigger drain. These houses are connected with this maroon drain which is called as the house drain, and then discharge was taken all over from the street drain. Here this green color is for the street drain, then to the small drain, and then later to the bigger drain which is here, which was covering the whole city. And similarly the streets were also found in a great shape as they were made in a geometrical pattern, straight, and it is considered that the streets, drains, and the houses were all planned at the same time. Now let's talk about the life in the city. Harappan city must have been a very busy place. There were special building construction planners. We believe that they could be the rulers of the city too. It is likely that the rulers must have sent people outside to bring some precious metal to their town or to collect certain beads or other kind of raw material. There were certain scribes in the cities of Harappa, and the scribes are the people who know how to write, and especially they used to create certain kind of seals. The seals that we have found in Harappa are rectangular in shape, and they usually have animal carvings on it. And the seals also had a script, but unfortunately the scholars have tried, but they are still not able to decipher this particular script. Well, apart from the scribe, there were craftspersons, including men and women, which used to do all kinds of work inside their homes or maybe in some workshop in the city. And apart from that, there were travelers who used to move in and around the city. They may used to bring certain kind of things which never belonged to the city, or they may used to take certain kind of things which were from the city. Here is an image of the city road. This is the city road, and accompanying this is a drain here, which we have already talked about. And also this is a well that has been found in the Harappan city. Apart from these are the terracotta toys we believe that the children of Harappa and the nearby cities must have played with thousands of years ago. Now let's talk a little about the new crafts in the city, or the crafts that were there in the Harappan cities. The things that we have found are either of stone or made up of shell or metal. And in metals it was either copper, bronze, gold, or silver. Iron was not used in these sites as we haven't found any kind of traces. If you remember, in the Paleolithic or even till Neolithic age, we didn't find any kind of metal, but in these particular cities the metal was found. Copper and bronze was used to make tools or weapons or ornaments and vessels, but gold or silver was used only to make ornaments and vessels. It is probable that the rulers who used to send people outside to bring all these things, they must have kept all these gold ornaments or beads or things like that. Apart from this, these are the images of the items that we have found in the Harappa or Mohenjo-daro and other cities of the Indus Valley civilization. Here the thing that you see, which is made up of stone, it is a blade which was used by the barbers to help men clean shave. And these things, these stone blocks, are the weights that were used in those cities. It does tell us that there was flourish trade inside those cities. Well, these are the beads, and this is a bead garland. Similarly, these are several and different colorful beads that we have also found in those cities. These are copper axes, and these are the tools that the people of Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, or Lothal must have used. There's a very prominent stone statue that we have also found in those cities. Apart from these pots made up of clay and these bronze vessels and bronze utensils are also a discovery from the Mohenjo-daro. Well, the people of those area must have used faience, as we have found such kind of things. Faience is a gum which is used to shape sand or powdered quartz into an object. These objects were glazed, resulting in a shiny and a glassy surface. As you can see, this particular thing, it's also a product made up of faience. Well, faience was used to make beads, bangles, earring, and tiny vessels. The beads that we see here are quite shiny, and it is probable that they were also made of faience. We'll be talking more about the Harappan cities in our next video. Till then, take care. Goodbye.